A learner with a disability requires a high level of support at school, from holistic development to cognitive skills. But without adequate resources and infrastructure, many of these children unfortunately face an uncertain future. And it's estimated that we have around 600,000 children remaining at home because of these challenges. But let's take you back now to Leanne. She is, of course, out in Krugersdorp, and I believe she has the MEC for Education in Gauteng to speak to about some of these issues. Leanne, back to you.
Sakina, thanks very, very much. MEC will be joining us in the next hour here on the program, but I'll tell you what, this time we're joined by the real VIP guests of the show, and that's, of course, are some of the learners, those that have gathered behind us. All of them, of course, just so you know, have got permission from both the school and their parents to be on camera for today's broadcast, which is a vital aspect of putting them here on camera. But I have had a tour of the school since you last came to us, and I am absolutely blown away in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the care, in terms of the staff that work with these learners and how dedicated and committed they are to these children that come here, and they are basically taught so much. They are just taught the basic skills to survive out there in this world. And we know how tough that world is. It really is a tough one. But when you have special needs and you need attention, you know how hard it really is. So this is something where you walk away today and you realize what a blessing it is to wake up every day and be fine, be able to feed yourself and be able to just go to a job or go to a normal school and just be able to, live life as a able-bodied or able-minded person. But the care that goes into looking after these children is absolutely incredible. And I'm joined by some of those individuals that tirelessly work every single day to ensure that these children have a good day and that they learn and they're able to get by on their lives. So Kurima School for Autism is where we're broadcasting from in Krugersdorp. This is a government school, an unbelievable school, I have to tell you. Dondi Zwane is our guest. He, of course, is a child and youth care worker. I went into the hostel, and this is the man that looks after all the young men that stay in this hostel. We'll talk more about that in a short while. Rebecca Maseko is the chief occupational therapist here, and I'm looking so forward to hearing what you do. And there's a setup of a classroom that's behind, so we'll get an idea of some of the skills that are learnt here. And then our absolute star guest is Atlahan. He is a former learner and he's the kitchen assistant that works here at the school. So he learnt and he now has a job at the school. So I'm going to start with Atlahana. And Atlahana, I'm going to come stand next to you. I'm doing what I shouldn't do in TV, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm running across the camera. What do you do at the school? What is your job?
In
the kitchen?
Yeah, obviously this is, I do make a juice, wipe the table, put the fork and knife. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you love working at the school?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where you came, so you learnt the skills at this school.
Yes. I sweep the floor first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take it, dustbin, and do it the kitchen, make it, tidy up. Yeah.
Yes. So it's incredible to hear that these are the skills that you've been talking about. So the learners come here, they learn these skills so that they can cope. And I know he must be a bit shy. I don't blame him. I'm shy when I see these cameras. But I mean, these are skills that they learn and he's putting into practice every day. I'm doing the wrong thing again. I'm walking back, so I don't need to stand in the way there. So these are the skills we learn.
Yes. Our goal is really to teach our learners to be as independent as possible. So obviously, if we can get them to learn skills that they can apply in their everyday life, and especially then in a job setting, that is really the ultimate.
Yeah, because I mean, it's fascinating for me to hear how he explains exactly what he does. He will set the table, put the knives and forks, make the juice. So it's a process. Can you perhaps maybe explain to us what goes in the mind of an individual that has autism?
Yes, individuals with autism, they really enjoy structure and routine. And this is also something that we will be setting up in the classes. For instance, we love using schedules to tell them what is happening first, what's next, what's happening thereafter. Because very often many of them struggle with anxiety, and knowing what to expect really helps them. And so you can even see with Atlegang, he's also used to that routine, and that's what helps him succeed and cope.
So it's lived, learnt experience over and over and over again, and then that's what they do. You work in besides what you do in the day, but when I saw you, it was in the dorm, where some of the young boys, how many boys are staying there at the moment?
At the moment we have 10 boys, yes.
So 10 boys, and you are staying with them all the time, and you're looking after them.
That's right. I'm with the boys the whole day, and then in the evening we have a night shift staff that takes care of the boys throughout the night, and a nurse as well. And then in the morning, then I kick in again to take over.
Yeah. When you think, and Michelle, the principal, was telling us a little bit earlier, like in terms of each pupil, basically, each learner is like 6 children in one. Yes. And I have never seen more hands-on staff. You meet at the gate, you welcome, you walk to the classes. I mean, is there ever a normal day that you can explain to me, or does every day come with a new surprise when you're working in this environment?
Every day definitely is different, although we do have a structure to the days. The learners arrive in the mornings, they get picked up from their transports by us, they go to the supervision on the playgrounds, then they will have obviously all they're having their individual classes. We don't have more than 8 or max 10 learners in a class, and then they do follow quite a set program, but there's always surprises throughout the day. That's the case with these learners.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah. There's a surprise with a normal kid every single day. Never mind autistic or special needs, because it's very specialized. And I need to talk to the specialization in this, because it's not handling a kid, because we're talking children that may temper tantrums. I mean, some of the teachers were showing me, some of the marks they have, from the kids, that perhaps something went wrong and they, of course, lost it. You have to calm them down. I mean, perhaps you can talk to us a little bit more about the behavioral traits that you are trained to deal with.
So, we have kids that will scratch, kids that will bite and everything. We're trained to accommodate these kids, because they have their temper tantrums, as you say, from time to time. In a day you can have about 2 or 3, and as you said earlier on, it's like dealing with 6 kids in one. So you have your ways you are trained to deal with these kids, and compassion is the key.
Yes.
At all times. Yes. Compassion is the key. So they say a child only understands time, and that means love to them. So when the more time you spend with them, that is equivalent to love. Because you can't buy all these things. But these kids come from places where they've been set aside, ostracized. And they don't get the kind of love and compassion, from communities and everything. So. Our staff, we thrive ourselves by compassion. So everything is compassion-based.
Man, I can see that. I can feel it. I want to come here. It's insane. It's insane. The love that is shared in this school is just, it's remarkable. But that's a very big issue, is the stigma associated. And I will be honest with you, when I first walked into the boys' dorm, because the boys were still getting ready, I did feel a little bit nervous. I wasn't sure how to react, how to behave. I didn't know what the right thing to do is. And I can imagine in communities, I'm with you all that are specialized in this, and you know exactly what to do, but communities are not educated on this, and that's a big issue. So, and a lot of the kids that come here from communities that they don't know, and they will box them and isolate them and say, this child is evil, or there's a spirit in them, or something. I mean, these are the things that are said. How do we educate communities?
Yes, education is really important, and it's all about understanding that behavior is communication. So very often these individuals are just labeled as, the naughty child, the child who is being disobedient, the child who's not listening. It is because they often cannot communicate verbally, so they communicate through their behavior. And I know you were referring to temper tantrums, but very often it's not actually a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
It's actually more like a meltdown. So they get overstimulated by their sensory inputs and they actually can't deal with it. So the only way that they can let this out is maybe by screaming or scratching, but they are sending us a message. And then it's our job to interpret that message and to help them cope in their environment, in their world.
Amazing. And this is a setup of a classroom, by the way, for viewers out there. I mean, this is kind of, Rebecca, what you will look at. And I know that we've got another very special guest with us, and it's Valentino.
Yes.
Oh, can we call Valentino in? Because besides the fact that there's a classroom set up, you've got a code of honor at the school. And here's Valentino, who's going to come and read this code of honor for us. Valentino, welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Say hello to my mother and father. Hi, Mom and Dad.
I'm so glad you did that, because now you're in their good books.
Yeah.
So this is the code of honor of the school. Will you read this for us?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Valentino, and I'm a learner of Krumus School. I'm going to show you our code of honor.
Okay.
I can greet with a smile. I can share. I can ask for help. I can be neat. I can be honest. I can be kind. I can always try once more.
Amazing. You are brilliant.
Thank you.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure. What a pleasure to meet you.
Yes.
Thank you, Valentino. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is awesome. Thanks, Valentino. I mean, so this is kind of the learning that happens, and this environment that we're in here is set up specifically for the learners that have autism, and I mean, lots of colors, lots of lights, even a little TP. Perhaps you can talk us through very quickly what we're going through here.
Sure. So basically, in our classrooms, we do try and adjust the environment to facilitate the learning. We want our learners to thrive and to succeed. So often we have something like a sensory corner, a space where the learner can move, where they can calm themselves if they need that type of input. We also have individual workstations to allow them to concentrate. We use assistive devices such as headphones or weighted objects to help them self-regulate. And again, like I mentioned, the schedules, so that they know what to expect in their day, and that they can function.
I've seen trampolines everywhere. Is this an important aspect of the education and their treatment? Because I just see, is this like an energy bursting thing? What's with the trampolines?
Yes, I think our learners love to move.
Yes.
And so we find the trampoline is a type of movement that is very calming for them. From a sensory perspective, it is rhythmic. There's a lot of compression of the joints and of the muscles. So it really helps them to self-regulate and then to be able to learn and concentrate again after that.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Valentino, again. You were great. And, of course, Londi as well. I'll tell you, it's just been such a special time being here, and I hope that you're learning the importance of what it is to have these special needs schools. In a short while, or in the next hour on the program, when we're joined by the MEC, we've also got the marimba band that have come in. They're going to be playing for us a little bit later. I don't think I've seen more well-behaved kids. They haven't said a word. You're so well-behaved, all of you. Thank you for being so quiet. But we'll continue in the next hour to bring you more from this wonderful school and other schools that exist like this around the country. But we'll be talking to the MEC as well in the next hour.